Richard Hale, 19 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, taking on Mike Wessel, who's 12-4. This is another quarterfinal in the heavyweight tournament. Hale coming off a TKO victory over a 7-6 fighter named Josh Burns. That was on May 18th at Bellator 69, while Wessel coming off a split decision victory on August the 24th at Bellator 73 over 7-2 fighter Ryan Martinez. Wessel, 12 wins, 7 of those via knockout, while Hale, 19 wins, 8 knockouts, and 8 submissions. Wessel has lost 4 times, 3 of those via knockout, once via submission. Hale has lost 4 times as well, twice via knockout and twice via decision. Richard Hale, 27 years old, from Cleveland, but fighting out of Arizona. He's 4-1 in Bellator, but only 1-0 at heavyweight, as he was previously fighting at light heavyweight. He actually made it to the tournament finals against Christian Mpumbu in 2011 for the Bellator light heavyweight championship, but he was knocked out by Mpumbu in the finals. Mike Wessel tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. He was actually submitted in the preliminary bouts by Marcus Jones, who I think was on the same season as Daryl Schoonover.
And he was, and his name was like, was it Babyface, or was it he had some kind of
Darkness? They called him Darkness.
He wasn't Darkness.
Yes, he was.
No, he was like something like a Baby, because like he was
Big Baby,
because he had he was such a nice guy. And
anyways,
he started crying because he like punched someone in the face or something.
I'm disappointed we didn't see more of Big Baby. I don't know where he went, but I think he got hurt. He wasn't really down with it. But he beat Mike Wessel. Wessel's 34 years old, 1-0 in Bellator, fighting out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I like Richard Hale in this one. He's proven himself in Bellator. He's made it to the finals of a tournament before, and it's interesting that he's fighting at heavyweight. But if he feels more comfortable there, even though he had success at light heavyweight, I like Hale to win. I think he's more diverse as well. 8 knockouts, 8 submissions, shows more diversity in the way he wins. I'm going to say Richard Hale.
I have to say this one, in my opinion, is the real toss-up for me, because I'm a big fan of Richard Hale. Richard Hale impressed me by being able to pull off an inverted triangle choke as a light heavyweight. That, though, right there is my concern with him, because he is typically a light heavyweight. How will he fare against the much larger heavyweights in the division when he starts stepping up into competition against the 265-pound fighters?
Yeah.
Will he be able to fare well? This is an extremely tough one to call. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Mike Wessel on this one, Dave. Because to me, I think that's the most concerning thing, is that Richard Hale is a smaller heavyweight.
Yeah, but he's 1-0 at heavyweight in Bellator, and he's coming off a knockout, while Wessel coming off a split decision. So I like Hale. You like Mike Wessel. We move right along to the co-main event of the evening. The Grim, Brett Rogers, in a heavyweight tournament here. This could be big stuff for the former Strikeforce contender. Brett Rogers, 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest, taking on 16-3 Alexander Volkov. Volkov, just 23 years old, from Russia. This will be his Bellator debut. He's riding a 7-fight win streak into this one. Not only his Bellator debut, also his American debut, his North American debut. He's got 13 of 16 wins via knockout with 2 decisions and 1 submission. He's lost 3 times in his career, twice via submission, once via decision, but never been knocked out, which I think is very interesting considering his opponent, Brett Rogers, has 10 of his 12 wins via knockout. Both of these guys, knockout artists. This could be a great fight. Rogers has lost 4 times in his career, twice via knockout, but, I mean, come on. To Fedor in 2009 and to Overeem in 2010. He was submitted once by Josh Barnett and lost a split decision in 2011 to Eddie Sanchez. He's got knockout wins over James Thompson, Ron Humphrey, and Andrei Arlovsky. Rogers, though, has run into trouble as of late. 2 of his last 7 fights. He's only won 2 of his last 7 fights with 1 no contest. He's 31 years old, from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He went 5-3 in the Elite XC and Strikeforce promotions and is 1-0 thus far in Bellator. The Grim versus Nikolai Volkov, or Alexander Volkov.
I like this.
I
like Alexei Volkov because of a TV show I watched where he was the main character bad guy in the show.
I like Nikolai Volkov.
Nonetheless,
because he was partners with Iron Sheik.
Nonetheless, I think this is kind of equally a tough one to call in the sense that 13 KOs for Volkov, victory over Rico Rodriguez, which is rather impressive, but 2012 Rico Rodriguez maybe not as impressive.
Yeah, he beat him in 2012. And he didn't even stop him. He got a decision win over Rico Rodriguez.
But we're also talking about, like, if you want to go that route, Antonio Silva couldn't stop Rico Rodriguez, but he stopped Fedor. So
I know it doesn't add up. I know. But I like Brett Rogers. I like the Grim to win this fight. I think that he's got more experience and he's going to come out. He looked really, really good in his last fight. I like Brett Rogers in this one.
I think Brett Rogers will probably come out and win this entire tournament. I'm almost going to call it right now. Rogers to be the new Bellator heavyweight champion. If he can throw that punch quicker than Volkov can, he's advancing to the semifinals.
So we both like Rogers over Volkov, and we get to the main event, and I think that Thiago Santos might be the man to beat in this tournament. He faces Eric Prindle. Finally. They were actually, this is ridiculous. They were scheduled to fight in 2011 in November. They had a no contest. It was actually the tournament finals, the last heavyweight tournament to decide who was going to fight Cole Conrad. They fought in November 2011. It was an accidental groin kick by Thiago Santos that ended the fight due to a no contest. So they had a rematch scheduled for Bellator 61 in March of this year. That fight was pushed back a week because Prindle got sick. He had flu-like symptoms. So they had it at Bellator 62. By the time Bellator 62 rolls around a week later, Santos was 12 pounds overweight, so they just gave the win to Prindle and declared him the tournament champion. He winds up getting submitted by Cole Conrad in his next fight.
In 10 seconds.
Yeah, like very, very quick. So now Prindle and Santos are back at it, and hopefully this fight will take place.
I'm worried.
I really don't know if this is going to take place, and I really hope that Thiago Santos can make the 265-pound weight limit. But you never know. He was overweight last time. I don't know if this fight's going to take place, but, man, I hope it does. Prindle, 4 of 7 wins via knockout, 2 decisions, 1 submission. Thiago Santos, 5 of 10 wins via submission, 2 knockouts, 2 decisions. Prindle has lost twice in his career, most recently a submission loss to Cole Conrad on May 25th in his last fight. Prindle's 36 years old from Erie, Pennsylvania. Santos, 25 years old, a jiu-jitsu black belt from Brazil. He was on a 4-fight win streak prior to his last no contest with Eric Prindle, as that was the last time he stepped into a cage. Santos versus Prindle. I'm going to go with Thiago Santos to win. If he can show up on weight, I like Thiago Santos to win this fight via submission. Prindle showed he has weak submission defense, and Santos is a jiu-jitsu black belt with half of his wins via tap-out. I like the Brazilian to get the submission victory.
Eric Prindle may have wins over Ron Sparks and Abe Wagner, and a 3-1 record in Bellator. Nonetheless, I was completely baffled how unbelievably unimpressive he was in that Cole Conrad bout. He comes in as this jacked heavyweight, chiseled to the bone, 260 pounds raw muscle. Cole Conrad, an amazing skilled athlete at the same time, not in any particular fashionable shape, and just was able to...
He was chubby.
Yeah, he was able to make Prindle look like an amateur fighter and almost, just a juice head at that, or a meathead, I guess you could say. And Santos, as in my opinion, 10-1-1 record, looked great, and that no contest should really be, stricken from the record. It's just ridiculous. But
well, what are you going to do, right? It's no contest. Kick to the nuts, ends the fight. So we both like Thiago Santos to come out victorious. I think Santos is going to be the one to beat. I'd like to see him and Rogers in the final. I think that'd be real interesting.